Richmond, Virginia. Former President Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, all 5 living former presidents to attend hurricane relief concert overnight. Healthcare. Schumer calls for tying Obamacare fix to children's health insurance. Puerto Rico's water woes worsen. Dems plead for nursing home residents' right to sue. Interior moves to delay Obama's methane leak rule. Moore received a warm welcome as he returned to the campaign trail Thursday to rally voters in the final weeks of the critical Virginia governor's race. Obama was back on the campaign trail for the first time since leaving the White House to stump for Lieutenant Gov. Ralph Northam ahead of the November 7 election, which is seen as a must-win for Democrats. Obama campaigned for Democratic gubernatorial candidate Phil Murphy in New Jersey earlier in the day. The former president took the stage in Virginia to deafening applause and intermittent chants of his old campaign slogan, "Yes We Can." Staff has said more than 6,200 people attended the rally, with a roster including outgoing Gov. Terry McAuliffe and federal and local Virginia politicians. Obama spent the bulk of his speech condemning the current state of politics, which he called so divided and so angry and so nasty. He urged Democrats not to become complacent, acknowledging that Democratic turnout typically drops off in years where there is not a presidential race. This choice matters. The question is, will you show up to vote? Obama asked the crowd, which was dominated by a sea of blue Northam campaign posters, with some attendees sporting shirts and accessories of the former president. In off-year elections, Democrats sometimes, Obama started, pausing to laughter from the audience. You all get a little sleepy. You get a little complacent. This is not my opinion. This is the data. It's going to come down to how bad you want it. Northam is locked in a tight race with GOP candidate Ed Gillespie, a former Republican National Committee RNC chairman who came unexpectedly close in the 2014 Senate race. Recent polls have shown Northam with a comfortable lead, but the race is expected to come down to the wire. The Virginia race is a top priority for Democrats as one of the only statewide races this year. Obama was campaigning in New Jersey earlier in the day Thursday, but Murphy, the Democrat, is expected to easily win the governor's mansion on November 7. Virginia's gubernatorial contest is typically used as a way to gauge where the electorate is a year out from the midterm elections. As Democrats eye taking back the House in 2018, they're hoping the party's newfound enthusiasm and President Trump's underwater approval rating will propel them to victory in Virginia. Obama praised McAuliffe and Northam's tenure over the past 4 years and touted the Democratic gubernatorial hopeful's record as a physician in the U.S. Army and later a pediatric neurologist. Ralph's whole life has been about honest, responsible service to others, Obama said, who also touted the other Democrats on the ticket including Northam's running mate Justin Fairfax and current state attorney general Mark Herring. You have people who are in this race for the right reasons, he continued. At a time when so many of us can be so cynical about government and public service, to have someone step up who you can trust, that's worth something. Northam sought to tie his opponent to Trump and rattled off a list of White House policies including withdrawing from the Paris Climate Change Agreement, reversing DACA and instituting a travel ban Northam called totally un-American. My opponent Ed Gillespie is cut from the same mold that Donald Trump, Donald John Trump, Ivanka Trump pens opt on kindergartners. Learning tech Barara, Yates tamped down expectations Mueller will bring criminal charges overnight cybersecurity Equifax security employee left after breach lawmakers float bill to reform warrantless surveillance Intel leaders keeping collusion probe open more is, Northam said. He's nothing more than a Washington lobbyist who has now become Donald Trump's chief lobbyist. Obama did not bring up Trump by name, but he took several jabs at Gillespie while not referring to him by name. Obama noted that while Americans all have valid concerns regarding crime, he condemned Gillespie for his rhetoric that the former president labeled as a scare tactic. Obama was alluding to both Trump and Gillespie's use of the MS-13 gang and tying their violence to Northam. If he thought these were serious issues, he'd offer serious solutions, Obama said. What he really believes is if you scare enough voters, you might score enough points to win an election. Both Obama and Northam also played up the state's diversity. Obama's campaign visits to both Virginia and New Jersey were an effort to mobilize black voters who came out in droves to support his presidential bids in 2008 and 2012. All of the speeches at the Thursday night rally laid out the stakes for Democrats and the need to get everyone to turn out in order to keep the governor's mansion in Democratic hands. We know it's going to be a fight, it's not a cakewalk, Northam said, concluding his speech. It's going to take all of us together. Are you ready to fight with me?